And hi, everybody. We're back again. Tangi will be on shortly, hopefully. But we are so honored to have this, I'm going to say young man because I'm older than him. But we are so happy and pleased to be able to talk to this amazing spiritual man here today. If you don't know him after this interview, you should know a lot more about him. He is the pastor of the Brook Church over on Parkland Avenue. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for our pastor and friend and brother, Pastor Simeon Moultrie.
Hey, how you doing, Donna?
Hey, Pastor Sim, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, it's early.
Yeah, it's 8 o'clock. I'm surprised I did it this early.
Oh, and we'll be here till 11 o'clock tonight.
May the Lord bless you.
And keep us,
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. Oh, Pastor Sam, we're so glad to have you as our guest here tonight, this morning, to talk about Midlands Gives and why it's important to have the arts in the community. So we'd like to, get to know you a little bit for people who don't know who you are and, not really familiar with you or the Brook. I can't imagine that there's anybody in Colombia that's not. But for the folks that are, could you just, give us a little bit of your history, your background, and tell us who you are?
Okay, well, first, let me say thank you for having me to be a part of this event. I'm a South Carolina native, born in a small town, St. Stephen, South Carolina, few minutes from Charleston, maybe about 45 minutes from Charleston. Graduated from South Carolina State University with my bachelor's and master's. Have been married now. August will be 18 years. 19 years rather, I'm sorry.
Wow.
And with my beautiful wife, Nikki. And we have three wonderful children, Dominic, Nicholas, and Brielle. And I've been pastoring the church for going to be 9 years this October. And it's just been a great ride, so far. And so I'm glad to be here.
Well, we're so glad to have you too. We are honored that you take time out, and we know that you're busy. We know you're busy because you are one of the people that are in Colombia changing the face of Colombia. So we are so honored that you're here with us today. So some of the things we'd like to ask you about, because this is a little bit different than church, so to speak. What do the arts mean to you? What does having the arts in Colombia mean to you?
I think for Colombia, the arts is important because it gives people the opportunity to experience really great talent locally. I think another thing that the arts provide is people an opportunity to learn the arts. People who've had dreams of acting, dreams of producing, dreams of being a part of a cast to produce something, videography, graphic design, stage setup. As relates to angles and things of that sort, and really creating an opportunity locally to produce and really sow and generously into people who would eventually change the world, because we have great talent here in Colombia. And so I believe the arts is an opportunity not only to express themselves, but for other people to see the gift on display. And it helps when you can go to a wild production, for example, and you can laugh and cry all within 30 minutes of a play,
I do remember one time, I think that you were in one of our plays. Didn't you come to kind of participate a little bit, or way back?
Yeah, well, I participated in the background. Yeah, I participated in the background and had conversations with you and Tangi about things, but we're just glad to be able just to pray with the cast. I remember before one show and just come in and walk into some of the rehearsals. So my involvement was behind the scenes, which I'm more than happy. Tangi wouldn't let me, act on stage. I presented the character to her, but she wasn't interested in that. So, we'll get to it next time.
Well, see, we see what you do every Sunday, so we might have to rethink that.
Talk to her.
That's right. But I do remember that you do have that good eye for design, because you came in on one of our productions and actually helped us with the set design, because we needed to make it look homey, and you went in and you came and bought some stuff. So we were grateful for that, because it really made a difference. So we thank you for that. Oh, Tangi saying our covering. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. Well, as we go, as we're here in Colombia, what changes have you seen that has directly affected the arts? What changes have the arts made in Colombia that you have seen for yourself?
I think the arts have contributed a great deal
Mm-hmm.
from the standpoint of people love plays, they love
Mm-hmm.
entertainment, they want to laugh, they want to be a part of something that touches and speaks to their lives, and the arts add to that. You know, having different theaters here in the city of Columbia and even outside, the arts has been affected. You know, in so many different ways now with COVID-19 shutting down everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's not giving people the opportunity to either be a part of something or express themselves
Mm-hmm.
to help someone else. And so the arts is important because it taps into another element. It taps into another space in our lives where we are able to really connect through a moment and what happens on the stage. So the arts is important, and we have to make sure that we invest in that so it can continue to change lives.
Mm-hmm. Well, I know that you've been there with us. Like we probably laughed and cried and done all kind of things. I know Tangi is very, very close to your heart. So could you tell us, like, what was one of your favorite wow moments that you've been involved with? One of your favorite wow moments?
I think one of my favorite wow moments was when you were at the Harbison Theater, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you all wanted to do something bigger than what you would normally do. And so y'all was thinking about the red carpet and
Oh yeah.
vendors and all of that.
Yeah.
And I remember the stress you guys were under. Are people going to buy the tickets? Y'all were worried about ticket sales and and I
Always.
think at that moment people were really dragging their feet to buy those
Mm-hmm.
tickets,
Mm-hmm.
and you all were stressed. And then out of nowhere, everything turned around. I think you guys did like maybe 2 or 3 days worth of shows and
Mm-hmm.
ended up
Mm-hmm.
selling like all the shows
All the
out
shows
except for
out.
like one or something
Mm-hmm.
like that.
Mm-hmm.
And to see the red carpet experience, to see everything come together, see people dressed up, and to see it actually happen and to be successful is probably my most memorable moments with WoW, because it went from oh my god to oh my god,
Right.
So
Okay,
yeah, that's probably it.
okay. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Um, how important do you think that having we're considered like the urban genre, so to speak, inspirational stage plays, which is usually considered urban. How important do you think that having an urban theater is in the community here?
Oh, I think it's absolutely important
Mm-hmm.
because African Americans, um, we don't have a lot to choose from. You know,
Mm-hmm.
our context is very specific, and it's a culture that many people, you have to understand it, uh,
Mm-hmm.
and to be connected to it. The language, the body
Mm-hmm.
um, language, the expression, the facial expressions, the head nods, the snapping of the finger,
Mm-hmm.
the attitude, the emotion, yeah, all of that goes into it. But I think it's important because it allows us to still not only express ourselves, but for people to explain, excuse me, not to explain, but us to explain and people understand our culture. And so I
Mm-hmm.
think it's very important that we're able to still show that side and let people know that we are here.
Mhm. How do you feel personally seeing people of color in theaters, going to theaters, being on stages, doing and having all the things that our counterparts, so to speak, have? How does that make you feel as a man, as a man of color? How does that make you feel?
I think it makes me feel good. And
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you why. Because, once I went to Broadway in New York and it was a life changing experience. And
Mm-hmm.
so to see African Americans, Blacks, but really all nationalities on the stage was
Mm-hmm.
absolutely phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
And just because someone is not on the stage doesn't mean that they're not as gifted. It's
True.
just sometimes that the opportunities are not afforded to them.
Mm-hmm.
But African Americans on stage, on the platform, on the screen
Mm-hmm.
is something that should be seen more,
Mm-hmm.
because it gives others the aspiration and the inspiration to become. I remember when I was a kid, in spite of recent allegations and everything that happened with Bill Cosby. And I know this isn't stage, but if we put what's on front of the screen,
it's entertainment.
A different world and the
Mm-hmm.
Cosby Show changed my life. It
Oh,
was Hillman College that
Mm-hmm.
didn't exist that made me
Mm-hmm.
say, I want to go to college.
Want to
I
go?
wanted to be either Ron or Dwayne Wayne, more Ron,
Mm-hmm.
Dwayne Wayne, depending on what was going on. But you know, you saw Denise, you saw that, but what happened was he understood that there had to be something seen in the African American community. I remember the Cosby Show bringing people on like Sammy Davis Jr., the
Oh
Cooley
yeah.
Sweaters, Miles Davis, the jazz he would play, not understanding until later, oh, that's what was happening. Not realizing we were being exposed before we even knew what we were being exposed to. And
Exactly.
so just seeing that changed the dynamic of a lot of our lives. And a lot of us are who we are today because we were influenced even in that time. So the stage is absolutely important, especially for African Americans, because we need to see ourselves there.
Exactly. I can say for myself that, like, I was had an interview earlier with Tangi, and it was my mom who was instrumental in, because we were doing the church plays, and she was doing everything. So
Wow.
I kind of took that on, and then knowing, now, and then Tangi was doing the same thing. So when we came together, we both had what the other was missing. So that, I think that's what makes our partnership so good. But yeah, I mean, going to those different things I see in a different world, and knowing that it was possible to go to college, because when a lot of times, and I'm sure you run into this with your counseling, people don't know. They don't believe that they can be different. They don't believe in the greatness within them. They don't know. Sometimes they just don't know.
Right.
And so how does I would say this: how does being a pastor of a, you're just like they're a mega church now. I'm just saying we in a mega church. So how does being a pastor um, help the community with the performing arts? How do they work? Can they work hand in hand, performing arts and being in the church? So because people may not know that.
Oh, absolutely. And you know what? I'll even add this. Well, last year we did the convention center. And I had an idea of, hey, how can we make the resurrection of Jesus more contemporary? And I brought it to Tangi, and I remember having the conversation. I said, hey, can WOW do this? And she was like, what's the idea? So we met up at a Panera Bread. That's where it was. We met up at Panera Bread. I discussed to her, explained to her what I saw, the angles that I wanted to come with, so that it could look a certain way. And I had one conversation, or two conversations, and I wasn't involved with it at all. I didn't write it. I didn't produce it. I just had the idea. And on, I think it was like that Thursday or Friday, they sent me the final cut of the introduction of the video or whatever, and it was phenomenal. And so what we had actors to convey a contemporary platform of the resurrection of Jesus by going to a graveyard, by having the police involved, by interviewing people and interrogating people, and all of these different things. And WOW was a part of that. And now that we're in COVID, if there's any pastor, any leader watching this, they have to understand is that we're never going back to what we knew as normal.
No,
Everything is virtual. Right now, we're doing this interview via, I guess, Facebook. We're doing this where, you know what I'm saying, you're at your house, I'm at my house. And so this is almost the new norm, right?
Yes.
So now the question is, how do you make the visual presentation of what you're trying to convey to your audience better visually? So while we were mastering our communication and our articulation of words and our vocabulary, now we have to enlarge our vocabulary behind lighting and angles. And this is what you say, because what you can say in person isn't always what you can say on camera.
That's true. That's
And
true.
so, yeah, it's changing. So the arts and the church, that can come together. People can
Mm-hmm.
teach you the posture of how to stand and
Mm-hmm.
present yourself before the camera.
Mm-hmm.
I remember Tangi, she said, never turn your back to the audience.
That's right.
Right?
You get
How
hit in
many
the
preachers
back.
turn their back to the audience? Yeah, because there's
Yep.
no camera in the room.
That's
When
right.
there's a camera in the room, you can't turn your back to the
That's
audience.
right.
And so
Mm-hmm.
there's just certain things that the arts and church will have to do, and we can come up with creative ways to present ministry and messages to people
Mm-hmm.
outside of the four walls, and we have that opportunity now.
How why should people want to give today? What is the benefit of people giving to, because we are doing Midlands Gives today, and what is the benefits? Because you tell the people what the benefits are in giving today for WOW to have a home.
Absolutely. Well, I'll say this: being a pastor, being a Christian, I believe that the Bible is right, and it says that God loves a cheerful giver. The Bible also says it's more blessed to give than it is to receive.
Mm-hmm.
And to be able to sow a seed of generosity into someone else allows that seed to grow and to cultivate, and it brings forth fruit that other people will be able to be blessed by. And so
Mm-hmm.
as you're giving and you're helping someone else, what will happen is God will bless you on what you're doing. The Bible
Mm-hmm.
says, I will bless those who will bless you. That literally means I will bless those who helped you on their journey with your journey. And
Mm-hmm.
so if
Mm-hmm.
you ever need help, you can't expect help if you never gave help. And
Mm-hmm.
so I think in sowing and investing into something like this gives our children, even our adults, gives Colombia the opportunity to experience great entertainment,
Mm-hmm.
clean entertainment that is changing
Clean,
lives.
yes. Mm-hmm.
And that's important for not just us locally, but even nationally of people seeing the great talent we have. So giving to WOW, giving to this cause would change lives. We could be raising up the next Michael B. Jordan or Denzel Washington or
Mm-hmm.
the next, actress and actor that not only starts with WOW, but ends up on the big screen. And we don't know where that will go, but hey, we need to start somewhere.
We
And
do.
and where money don't move, money don't work. Okay, so we
Hey,
just need to
hey.
understand that, and so we need to move our money so it can work and do some things for us.
Oh, well. Well, Facebook family, we are here with Pastor Simeon Moultrie of the Brook Church. And we, down below, there is the little ticker going across. Donate to the WOW Pack now at midlandsgives.org /WOW Acts. So give any amount, no amount is too small. Donate, donate, donate. Pastor Sim, one last question for you today. Can you leave us some nuggets that will help us today, tomorrow, in the future, especially with COVID-19 and as it relates to the theater?
I think if I could leave anything, it would be everyone needs to go back to their why.
Mm-hmm.
Why are they doing it?
Mm-hmm.
And even though things have changed, your why doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
And your why is the birth of innovation. And
Mm-hmm.
so now where the arts have been impacted and we can't gather, it doesn't mean that art stops. It just means
Mm-hmm.
we innovate and we think about other creative ways to get the message out.
True.
And so if there's anything that I could say is make sure you go back to your why, make sure you innovate, make sure you take care of yourself,
Mm-hmm.
because you can't be good to anyone and for anyone if you're not good for yourself. And as
That's
relates
it.
to the arts, like don't allow this time to make you sit on your gift. This is the time
Ooh.
to
Ooh.
to create it. This is the time to pour into it. This is time to sharpen your gift and your craft and
Mm-hmm.
be ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
The world is waiting on you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. And I will say, even though we're at home, we're still tuning in, watching you at the brook. We still need that spiritual food. So I'm glad that it's not all the way shut down and that we can still get something, the Lord can still speak to us through you, so that we can move into the future, because like you said, nothing is going to be the same anymore. We are in a new normal now. And Jenna said hi.
Hey,
She
Jenna.
watches from she's up near Greenville, so but she still
Okay.
watches, so she
Awesome.
said hi. But we want to thank you for coming in. Ladies and gentlemen, please give at midlandsgives.org /WowActs. And we want to thank Pastor Simeon Moultrie for coming on today. We've got, I don't know, we got so many hours to go, but we're going to have phenomenal people on today. We're going to really show you a lot of talent that is in the local area with that we're very proud of. Some people are coming to speak out on our behalf, and we're so happy to have that. Pastor Sim, thank you. Lady Nikki, give her our love and your
Will do.
kids, and we're so happy that you took the time and had the time to come out and spend with us. So thank you so much. Have a wonderful day, and we appreciate you.
Oh, thank you. Love you guys.
Love you too. Okay, we're gonna sign off now, and we are gonna go. We will be back at we'll be back at 9 o'clock with the one and only Miss Regina Skeeters. Come back at 8 o'clock. Don't forget to give.